Hi, I'm James Wong. The President of the United States, Joe Biden, has recently held the Summit of Democracy, leaving China and Russia out and trying to define what real democracy is for the whole world. Meanwhile, China has released a white paper, China Democracy That Works, to explain its democratic system and counter the attacks from the US. The controversy between these two superpowers is not only about the fierce competition, but also because of the huge differences on the views and understanding of democracy. And this very first episode of What's Wrong With You is going to tell you 4 major aspects China and Western societies do not jointly agree on. Before we start, please subscribe my channel, like and share this video, and share your support with NTT Media. The reason why China and the West do not see eyes to eyes in the definition of democracy is due to the battle between by the people and for the people. The saying, government of the people, by the people, for the people, is one of the most famous quotes from the greatest president of the United States of all time, Abraham Lincoln, and it is always seen as the essence of democracy. Generally, the West is more concerned about the procedural justice and the spirit of by the people. So, every voter is given a chance to participate in politics by casting their ballots and choosing their government leaders every 4 to 5 years. Yet, elections do not necessarily lead to good governance. From Adolf Hitler to Donald Trump, we have seen so many notorious leaders winning in elections and making millions of people suffer. On the contrary, China values the importance of for the people most. The paramount element of every political system is to boost the well-being of its residents, as long as the people enjoy a great extent of the improvement in livelihood. The level of political participation of ordinary folks is not really important. In fact, under the leadership of Communist Party, China has become the second largest economy after 40-year development, and the absolute poverty problem that hunted China for almost 5,000 years is completely eradicated. In the eyes of Chinese, achievement and outcomes are far more essential than processes. The strive for the interests of the majority could therefore be seen as a sign of democracy. Another difference between China and Western style democracy is the way of choosing political leaders. As I mentioned, the West is more concerned about the equal right to vote, so there are regular elections to choose representatives. Unfortunately, numerous researches have shown that voters do not rationally cast their ballots by realizing the agenda or ideals of candidates or parties before they make the decision. Instead, the winners of elections are often the masters of marketing and PR. The better the public image of the candidates, the more likely he or she takes the office. Barack Obama is a typical example. He only served 1 term in Senate, and he was suddenly elected as the President of the United States because of his good appearance, eye-catching slogans, and remarkable speeches. The lack of experience in executive posts make him incapable of really bringing change of the landscape of American politics. But in China, the story is totally different. Rather than the public image or oratorical skills, China chooses leaders by one's ability and experience. For example, President Xi was only a grassroots officer in a rural village in 1980s. Because of his extraordinary achievement in economic development and environmental protection, he was promoted to be the governor of Fujian province and Zhejiang province in 90s and 2000s. After amassing abundant experience and having a successful career, he has been elected as the President of China and is contributing significantly to the society and taking 1.4 billion Chinese people to a new living standard. This example tells us that a leader with a proven record does far better than a leader who is only good at campaigns. And leaders with experience could facilitate the prosperity and stability of society. Due to the intensity and aggressiveness of elections, we can always witness the dark sides of Western democracy. In order to win votes, candidates often attack each other in debates. They are also used to playing dirty, like defaming or looking for others' hidden scandals to compromise their rivals. These mutually abusive and insulting behavior would do nothing but polarize the society, provoking the rise of radical political ideas. Over the last 5 years, Germany and France have recently seen the existence of extreme right-wing parties like Alternative for Germany and National Front, which oppose the influx of refugees from the Middle East. While they're not able to take control of the country currently, they still manage to win 20% of the seats in the parliament and keep advocating racist message in their society. Their action has worsened conflicts between races and deepened the discrimination between various communities, making the Europe a place with instability and confrontation. As China does not overwhelmingly put stress on elections, the attacks between Chinese politicians are rare. Instead, the Communist Party encourages diversified voices to be expressed through different levels of institutions, so that the public opinions would not be detrimental to the harmony of the society. Also, it makes sure that government officials and political representatives, such as members of Political Consultative Conference and National People's Congress, will be noticed about the ideas and improve the situation immediately if necessary. That's why China is a relatively stable and secure state where more than 50 ethnic minorities groups could mutually respect each other and radical political ideals could not be spread around. Lastly, democracies in the West is to preserve the system of capitalism. Historically and philosophically speaking, democracy stems from the rise of individual property rights, which is protected by law. As everyone has equal rights to own and generate wealth, the better way to protect that access is to give everyone equal chance in politics, to vote, and to be elected. Yet, we all know capitalism will only lead to the wealth gap between the rich and the poor, so we can see in the United States, the politics is often manipulated by big corporations and tycoons, while at the same time, there are dozens of residents being homeless or living under poverty line. The income disparity is so severe that less than 10% of the grassroots could enter university, and 5% of them could be elevated to the middle class of above. We can conclude that the goal of the Western democracy is to serve the privileged and maintain their dominance in the society. The West always claims that democracy manifests equality, but actually the equality has never been achieved. In contrast, the ultimate purpose of China Communist Party is to construct a socialist state where every resident is equally taken care of. Since its ruling in 1949, CCP has already clearly stated that it is a regime ruled by proletariat. Yes, the wealth gap between the rich and the poor in China becomes more serious since the enforcement of opening up policy. As our former leader Deng Xiaoping stressed that even though a tiny fraction of people might get better off because of economic development, common prosperity is the goal the country must strive for. This actually is the same President Xi has reinforced it again this year. By doing so, China needs 3 levels of redistribution other than relying on market mechanisms and relying on taxes. Big corporations are required to bear more social responsibilities, to donate money into charity so that the poor can share the fruits of economic growth. That means our democracy generally preserves the interests of the people and strives for real social justice and equality. Given the misunderstanding of Western media, the democracy of China has long been misinterpreted. However, as the white paper says, there should not be only one yardstick for measuring democracy. So we should not only respect the cultural differences between the East and the West, but also the differences in political systems. Only peace, communication, and mutual understanding could lead the world a better place. Thank you for watching. I'm James Wong. See you next time.